That's why he went to school.
So I think the problem is coming from the youth.
The people that rule this country, they are still the people today.
It is the youth who know well enough of today that can take charge of tomorrow. Hello, my name is Mark Miracle and I welcome you to today's episode of Youth Engage. At the Youth Engage show, we do not just discuss problems, as we discuss ways of providing pragmatic solution to the issues affecting the youth in today's society. Benjamin Franklin said, and I quote, "An investment in knowledge pays the best interest." It is to this effect that I introduce you to today's topic, the Nigerian educational system, a political arrangement or a preparatory process for the youth. And I have a very wonderful guest in the house to discuss this topic with me, and I will be introducing him to you after this short break. Please stay engaged.
Education is not just reading and writing. It is the premise of progress in every society, in every family.
At Hockman International Academy, we cater for the intellectual, moral minds, and physical needs of children from infants to young adults.
The school is built on an educational model to deliver on national and international curricula.
Hockman International Academy, established in the year 2011, has grown in relevance, instilling academic excellence and Christian morals in children since her inception.
Our school is situated in a very conducive environment with an atmosphere suitable for learning.
Furnished with modern educational facilities and infrastructures like well-equipped air-conditioned classroom, laboratories, e-learning apparatus, and lots more.
Our vision is to raise generations of leaders worthy in character and learning.
With a mission to nurture and inspire children to discover, develop, and reach their true potential at all levels of learning and all stages of development.
At Hockman International Academy, we foster and bring to limelight the potentials of our learners, thereby raising great leaders, academic giants, trailblazers, and great decision makers for a better tomorrow.
The school has infant, junior, and college school. The day school is located at number 24 and 27 Wall Street, D-Line, Port Harcourt, Nigeria.
For more inquiries about the school and art admission procedures, please call +234 908 499 0636, +234 812 794 0737, or visit our website at www.ockman.org.ng.
You're welcome back to the show, and it's about time I introduce you to my wonderful guest in the house. Can I meet you, please, sir?
I'm David Ebohime. It's an honor to be here.
You're welcome to the show, sir. The Nigerian educational system has been through several processes dating back to the pre-colonial and the post-independent era. The amalgamation of the southern and the northern protectorate of Nigeria brought together people of different ethnic group and religion. And this necessitated for the adoption of the federal system of government in Nigeria. And for sure, this curtailed a widespread of the Christian religion and the Western educational system. And it led to a sizable educational gap between era. For instance, we've had the UPE, we have the UBE, which replaced the UPE. And we also had other policies that necessitated for different system of education. But in all this, Nigeria seems not to have gotten it right in one way or the other. What are the problems facing the progress of the Nigerian education system? It is to this effect that I bring the first question to you, Mr. David. What are the challenges that are retarding the progress of the Nigerian educational system? What is bringing us backward? What do you see as the challenge?
Thank you. The challenges are enormous. A wise man said, doing the same thing the same way and expecting different results is another word for insanity. And the challenges, I'll break them down into three forms, from government to private sector, lack of government funding, private sector funding, and our teachers. On the part of government, last year 7.4% was budgeted for the Nigerian educational system, and against UNESCO 15 to 20% for developing nations. That is the poor sum, poor funding. Then for private sector, today we have the Googles, we have the Facebook, we have WhatsApp and all that in the Western world that are employing a lot of youth and graduates out there. a lot of investment was poured in from venture capital funding.
Of course.
Today in Nigeria, we don't have that. Then on the part of teachers who are the primary stakeholders in Nigeria educational system, the 3 C's of success: commitment, capacity, and character. I think to a greater extent, they've not done fairly well in these areas. Commitment to their job, character, and capacity. These are areas where we need to look into: government funding, private funding, venture capital funding, and capacity development in our teachers.
Yeah, the government need to move away from the places they've been spending excessively and channel to education, if I get you right.
Yes.
Of course, this topic would not be complete just in the studio. Let's go to the street and see what the people are saying about the Nigerian educational system. Please stay engaged. Thank you.
That's why you went to school. So I think the problem is coming from the youth.
The people that rule this country, they are still the people today.
It is the youth who know well enough of today that can take charge of tomorrow. Hey, my name is Mark Miracle from the Youth Engage show Salvation TV, and I'm standing here with some wonderful young men who are going to be asking some very important questions today. Can I meet you, sir?
My name is Wisdom.
And you, sir?
My name is Jude.
Okay, the Nigerian educational system. Most of our youth complain that they come out from school and they don't get any job to do. Most complain that the educational system is not going well with them. And I want to ask you, what is your take on the Nigerian educational system?
I would say it's left for you. That's why you went to school. I would say it's because of the youths. Why? Because you can find work everywhere. That's the main reason you went to school. So if the educational system is working, it's left for you to apply the knowledge which you went to school for, and you apply it.
Okay, if I would ask you, what's your take about our Nigerian educational system?
Well, my take about the Nigerian educational system is that we have a sound educational system. As you can see, in Nigeria, we have one of the best universities around. In the words of my papa, David Ibiomi, he will always say that there are problems everywhere in Nigeria, and where there is problem, there is money. So I think the problem is coming from the youth, because the youths, they have decided not to put their mind and their interest in this educational system, the sound educational system we have. So that's why I think there's always lack of job opportunities and all these problems that the youths are facing. If the youths can only come together, put their minds and everything they've learned in school to practice, then I can say that yes, that there will be it will result in a good outcome.
What is your view about the Nigerian education system?
Education system is worst for Nigeria, because even if you train your pikin to school, at the end of the day, no job. And the best solution for this country is bigger than one person to control.
Yes.
The best solution to share this country, so that whether we can have a job, because you cannot spend your last card train your pikin to university, at the end of the day, begin they carry gun, they pursue people up and down, because there is no job for the pikin. So for me, the only benefit for school to know how to read and write, any other thing, you just put your school for your picking for maybe business or whatever, so that they can be able to do well for himself.
So apart from dividing the country, do you think there's any other solution you can proffer to the education system? Anything that they should input in the educational system to make it better?
Secondly, is our politician is holding down everything.
Yeah.
Because if them can do well, no say, what's holding this Nigeria is politician. Yeah. They can promise you every now and then, go open company, go do this, but at the end of the day, nothing done. They focus for their picking and their family or whatever. So that is what I saw it there.
So in conclusion, you are saying we should still go to school?
Yes, so that they can know things.
Thank you. It's been a nice time with you. God bless you, sir.
Thank you.
Make every day count and draw closer to God. Watch Salvation TV every day for inspiring messages by anointed men of God. Educative programs such as iLead, Speak Right, and Family Network. Get your children thrilled and inspired with our kiddies programs. Listen to testimonies of people who have been healed or cured from grace to grace to boost your faith in God. Salvation TV is loaded with loads of exciting and entertaining programs designed to make you succeed and draw you closer to God. To get Salvation TV, use any of this decoder: Metro Digital, Strong HD, and Alpha Box. or watch online at www.salvationtv.tv.
You're welcome back. Mr. David, I'm sure you did enjoy the for the first young man, he was saying that it is left for you and I to make good use of what we learn in the school. You don't just learn and you throw things away. It is left for you to make there are opportunities there in the street. If you heard them right, of course, there are opportunities there in the street that we'll have to make use of. And I want to ask you, sir, skill and knowledge are the driving force of any growing economy out there in the world. You must have skill and knowledge working hand in hand. But as it stands, a larger proportion of our education or a larger proportion of our schools only offer knowledge without vocational education, that is vocational skill. What would you say to this end?
Okay, basically, developed countries like China, developed countries like US and Japan, Germany, they have a model that is working. The vocational educational training system. Vocational education gives you the basic skills to be relevant in the job market of today. Our educational system, 80% or 90% are focusing on formal education. So what I would suggest to bridge that gap is to incorporate, is to deploy what is working out there in China, what has worked in the US, what is working in Japan, here to the Nigerian education system, incorporate the vocational educational training system to our education, so that when you leave from secondary school to tertiary, when you're out, you're relevant to the society.
But to some extent, some private schools are doing this now. To some extent, some government schools are still doing this. That they're trying to bring in the vocational education, vocational curriculum into the educational system. But as it stands, it's still yielding no results, no visible result that we can see. Do you think there is anything retarding this step in our educational system? Do you think there is anything, invisible factor retarding it, that people go through all this process? I know a few of private schools, yet these children, they come out from school and they still look for jobs as if they never learned anything in school.
Okay, today our case study is US.
Yeah.
They have over 21 trillion 2019 forecast of GDP. They have about 4% unemployment rate. If we are saying Nigerian educational system is modeled after the US system, we should have the same results. I feel we are not doing it, we are not getting it right. We are not doing what they are doing. What does that mean, 4% unemployment rate? It means for every 100 persons, 96 are employed right after school. But here we're having 28 unemployment rates and 21% underemployment rates. So if you're doing exactly what US are doing, incorporating vocational education into educational system, meaning they will have the requisite skill to get them gainfully employed.
Excuse me, sir. You're not talking about if we have to copy US, so let's copy them in full, right?
Yes.
Now I have to say, I have to bring this to your notice. From the advent of the Western education, that is talking about the British education that came into Nigeria, we have, as a country, copied the classical book educational system from a US, that is America, and British. What am I saying? What I'm saying in essence is that all our education, all our curriculum is filled with courses and subjects lifted from the British and the American educational system, without picking the local materials to inculcate in subjects like history and geography to teach these children. Now I want to ask you this technical question, sir. Are we training the children to become American and British workforce unknowingly? Because we are not picking the materials to teach them on how to solve immediate problems in our environment. That's why they come out and they can't address the problems in the environment. Are we training the next American and British workforce, please, sir?
Okay, thank you. Your question, if the Nigerian system is training our children or modeling them after the American workforce.
Yeah.
Today, the artificial intelligence has predicted that in 20 years, over 40% of jobs will be lost to automation, to robotics.
Yeah.
Then our system, those who we say we are modeling after, they are moving into artificial intelligence, cloud computing, cybersecurity, and all that, things that brings practical jobs. I think the basic thing we need to do is for our policy makers to go back to the drawing board. Our policymakers need to go back to the drawing board, take this model, bring it to Nigeria, bring the Nigerian mix. We know what our challenges are.
The policy makers we are bringing into discussion now. For instance, we've had several educational systems. We have the UBE, we have the UPE. For instance, the UPE came during when Nigeria had an oil boom. That was in 1975, 1976. Yes. That's when we had the UPE. And the core aim of the UPE was to bridge the gap between the illiterate fellow and the literate ones, just to bridge the gap and to increase awareness in the society. But after this, the plans has been failing and failing. So if we adopt it, what assurance do we have, or what do we have to do that these plans don't fail?
Okay, basically today Germany practices the 934 system, China practices the 934 system, and we tend to practice the same 934 system. That's universal basic education system, which is in play. But do you know in China today, your first 3 years in secondary, if for example you're going to be a construction engineer, your first 2 years you're taking courses in that area, and the third year you're going for internship, a vocational course that will allow you have practical experience. And when you're out from the first 3 years of secondary, 40% are directly employed into this skill force. But in Nigeria, we are not doing that.
It is not like
we are not doing that.
Okay, we are going to take a very short break, and of course we'll be back. Please do stay engaged.
Education is not just reading and writing. It is the premise of progress in every society, in every family.
At Hockman International Academy, we cater for the intellectual, moral minds, and physical needs of children from infants to young adults.
The school is built on an educational model to deliver on national and international curricula.
Hockman International Academy, established in the year 2011, has grown in relevance, instilling academic excellence and Christian morals in children since her inception.
Our school is situated in a very conducive environment with an atmosphere suitable for learning.
Furnished with modern educational facilities and infrastructures like well-equipped air-conditioned classroom, laboratories, e-learning apparatus, and lots more.
Our vision is to raise generations of leaders worthy in character and learning.
With a mission to nurture and inspire children to discover, develop, and reach their true potential at all levels of learning and all stages of development.
At Hockman International Academy, we foster and bring to limelight the potentials of our learners, thereby raising great leaders, academic giants, trailblazers, and great decision makers for a better tomorrow.
The school has infant, junior, and college school. The day school is located at number 24 and 27 Wold Street, D-Line, Port Harcourt, Nigeria.
For more inquiries about the school and art admission procedures, please call +234 908 499 0636, +234 812 794 0737, or visit our website at www.ockman.org.ng.
You are welcome back to the Youth Engage Show. We do not just discuss problems here. We try as much as possible to discuss how to provide pragmatic solutions to the issues facing the youth and the society. Sir, like from the street interview I went to, you saw the last man lamenting that sometimes they waste money to train their children, and that is of course a fact. Train children, and later on they don't find a job to do. This I want to ask. If the vocational and cultural life of people are being inculcated in our educational system, how do you think this would help to provide more job in the society?
Okay, thank you for your question.
Thank you, sir.
I'll go back to China. In 1960, they had a lot of unemployed, but as of today, they have 3.8 unemployment rate. They've put out 600,000 of their populace out of poverty line. What did they do differently? Today they have over 10,000 vocational educational training centers, incorporating educational system, apprenticeship, and government. Policies are centered in those areas, whereby, as I said earlier, whereby a graduate from the vocational centers, from their institutions, from the secondary schools, these persons are able to fit into the workforce. Yes. Today, if you have 1,000 graduating from their vocational centers, 50% are directly enter the workforce.
Okay. Can I ask you a straight and direct question, sir? Good kudos to China, good kudos to America, good kudos to Britain. But if I had the opportunity to make you a leader now, and I say that you shouldn't mention this country to me, since you know they are good enough, just tell me what you would do to Nigeria so that other persons will mention Nigeria among this list of nations that are doing well educationally. What would you do?
Okay, thank you. I said something before. We have the 3 C's for success in any field of endeavor: commitment, character, and capacity. Build a team that has character, build a team with capacity, and build a team that are committed to that cause. All we need to do as leaders, as a team, we take that same model in China, in Japan, in Germany, set up a competent team that has character and that has the capacity. That has been our challenge.
At some point in time, we've had leaders with good intention. Yes. They had good blueprints. Yes. But getting down to the grassroots, persons don't execute these policies that they bring out. As if you were to be a leader now, or you are to suggest to a leader, what would you do that to make it as a possibility that whatever you say, whatever intention you bring out, it must be executed, even at the least secondary school in the village?
Okay, I think the first thing is the policy. Policy drives any agenda in any nation. Jimmy Carter said, and I quote him, he said the buck stops with him. If you become the president, you're the minister of education, all you need to do, as I said before, these 3 C's has to be in place. Competent people, people with character, people with capacity, with commitment to run with the vision.
And talking about competence, that will have to boil down to training and retraining of teachers.
Yes,
because sometimes the teachers are...
Then the political will to drive this has to be in place.
Then,
and it comes from the leader.
Because the time is no longer a friend to us, I would like to give you this scenario. After my interview in the streets, there is still something that had occurred to me. In a wrap-up of the whole interview, I would want to ask this question. As a father, like the last man lamented, as a father, you have a child, you send the child to the school, he's done with primary school, secondary school, university, and he's out of university. There's still no job. The government and the policy says you must go to serve in the National Youth Service Corps. Other countries have what they do at that level, but ours is the NYSC. You go to the NYSC and you come out, and you go to the labor market, only to be told that you have to create your job. You have to fight. You have to struggle and struggle until you get a white-collar job in a situation where you don't have any skill. Now, I want to ask, was all this process an imprisonment process? Okay, some people would liken it to be a prison. So were you imprisoning me?
Yes. The Nigerian education system, I would liken it to a prison. I'll give you a case study. A mentor, Bill Gates. At 9, he gained admission to Lakewood. At 13, he developed his first software program. 17, with other teams, formed Microsoft.
That's when he dropped.
And today, he's worth over $100 billion in dollars. And his core, his firm, had affected over 2 billion Earth inhabitants. What am I not saying? If Bill Gates was in prison, why in Lakewood? In Lakewood,
and prison is cool, as in the school in quotes, in prison.
Yes,
so,
the system. If the system
about.
never supported him,
Yeah.
or maybe his parents or the government never supported him, at 13 there was no way he would have developed his first software. I know, we all know, it's public information that they gave him time outside normal classes to develop time for ICT, computer studies.
But nevertheless, in as much as we ironically call it a prison, you wouldn't advise the young fellows not to go to school.
Yes,
because it is education that brought you and myself to discuss this, of course.
The right education.
The right education.
Yes,
so
I would advise our youth
even
though
it looks like a prison, you must go to school, you must develop yourself, you must find a skill to learn. and make out the best of yourself. Look out for a problem in the environment that you can add what you've learned to bring out a solution. My papa, Pastor David Beme, will say that money is in every problem. All you have to do to get the money is just to solve the problem, and you get paid in good dollar bills. Yes. It's been a nice time with you, Mr. David. I did enjoy the show with you, and I would want you to, we believe we'll see you over and over again. It's been a nice time, and it's been a pleasure to have you in the house. God bless you.
It's an honor. Thank you.
Pastor David Ibiome said, and I quote, "Lazy people discuss problems, while creative people discuss solution." At the Youth Engage show, we do not just discuss problems, as we look out for ways to discuss how to provide pragmatic solutions to the issues that are affecting the youth in today's society. It has been an amazing moment in today's episode of Youth Engage on Salvation TV. You would have our social media handles scrolling now on the screen. Please find it a pleasure to send us questions, inquiries, and we are always out there to answer. It's been an amazing moment in Youth Engage show today. Please make it a date with us next week, same station, same time. My name is Mark Miracle. Remain engaged.
That's why you went to school.
So I think the problem is coming from the youth.
The people that rule this country, they are still the people today.
It is the youth who know well enough of today that can take charge of tomorrow.